Hi, everyone. How are you? Good. I'm glad. I'm doing great. So I just got my final grades back. I'm currently a junior in college. I got all A's and I made the dean's list. Yeah, thank you. All right, not too loud. I'm almost 30. All right, yeah. It took a little bit, but we're there. I didn't really focus on going to college in high school. I went to a really small high school in a white town, and one day, I'm biracial, somebody looked at me and they said, "You look like Obama." And, not Michelle, not Sasha, Malia, Big Daddy Barack. So instead of worrying about college and my future and all of that, inane stuff, I was more worried about making sure nobody realized I do kind of look like Obama. So it's affected me even to this day. I will never, ever answer a question with "yes, we can." God forbid I ever befriend a woman named Michelle with great arms and a strong sense of self. When I wrote that joke, I was intending that I would leave the stage after my set. Somebody would come up to me and be like, "You, beauty queen, you don't look anything like Obama. Holly Berry, maybe." Instead, there's always one person that agrees, and they feel the need to come and point me out and find me to tell them, "Yeah, you do. You look like him." I was writing this joke to kind of rework my trauma, but instead it just got worse. So you're laughing, but at what cost to me? I am biracial, yes. I'm black and I'm white. That's just a fun way of saying everyone thinks I'm Dominican. I think I have uttered the words, "Sorry, I don't speak Spanish," every single day of my life. My mom's white, surprise, she's the white one. And my dad was black, from what I remember. I haven't seen him for a while. Everyone gets so stressed when I start that joke because they're like, "Oh, she's gonna talk about, how her dad abandoned her." It's not, we're gonna keep it lighthearted today, all right? My dad didn't abandon me, okay? He died in 9/11. I know, right? South Tower represent. Right, yeah, over there, right? My favorite thing about my dad dying in 9/11, and I know, favorite, how can you pick just one? But I managed to find one, and my favorite thing is when anybody over 50 speaks to me about it and they don't know that my dad died, and they try to play this weird game of 9/11 tragedy Olympics, and they think they're gonna win. Exactly. So they'll usually start out with "I don't know if you remember." Wrong. It's the first thing I remember. I was 4 years old. I was just gaining consciousness. I looked at the television. There was a bunch of burning towers. My mom said, "Your dad's in there," and life started. So we started on a really high note. It was great. We could only go up from there. They'll also say something like, "Oh, I was in college in New Jersey, and I saw the sky turn gray. Isn't it just so crazy? Cool, I was 4 in Pennsylvania, and now I look for a father's love in every man I have sex with." You want to go toe-to-toe with me? We can keep it going. I'm winning every fucking time. Okay, Also, I was doing a set the other day, and one of my friends told me, she said, "Hayley, you gotta stop talking about cocaine so much because people are gonna think you have a problem." And I put down my Coke spoon, and I said, "How the fuck dare you?" Do you know what happens to people who have a problem with cocaine? I'll tell you what happens. They have to be around their friends and their loved ones, and they have to hear them bitch and moan about how bad this problem makes them feel. And then at a certain point, you have to go to this place called rehab. I looked it up. You can't bring Coke there. It's also kind of hard to find Coke in the rehab, okay? And then at another point, you got to start apologizing to people for being a woman with a hobby. And then you leave rehab, and you can never do Coke ever again. which is crazy. If I went to like a master class, I would hope that I'm ending it with like a dime bag party favor, but no. I love Coke, probably more than anything else in my fucking life. And I want to do it forever. And I don't think that sounds like someone who has a problem. And I know you're not going to look at me and say, she looks like a drug addict, because you know what you're going to say? You're going to say, she looks like Obama. Thanks, guys. I'm Hayley Blanning. You were great.